As you know, the meeting is being recorded for future broadcast and for the record. Public comment from the members.
I do have one.
Yes, sir.
A resident wanted to know, they read in the paper all the open houses that
Yes.
were being available, noted that they were all in the mornings on weekdays and they worked. And they wanted to know if they were going to offer any evening or weekend work.
We have Saturdays. In fact, there's one this coming Saturday?
Yeah, just if I may
Yep.
clarify. We offered at least 4 or 5 Saturdays. Those filled up very quickly.
Right.
So we pulled them down because there were like 100 people attending each one of them. We've since reposted all of those, knowing that folks, we only have about 50% of the people that have signed up are actually coming. And so we put all the dates back up there so people can just go back to the website and just sign up. Give our office a call too.
Okay. Our office being the superintendent?
The superintendent,
Okay.
yeah, you bet. Thank you, Tom.
And again, if there's a group that those don't work, we're willing to,
I told that to the person. I mean, they're a friend, and they
Yeah.
told me at the band concert on Mondays.
Alrighty, thank you. I do not have a chair's report tonight. Meeting minutes, June the 8th. Any comments or corrections? I'll take a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, monthly invoices. We have a couple of invoices. Jocelyn Lesser, a.k.a. NB5, for their services for the month in the amount of $52,500. We have Showman Design and Construction for their monthly amount at $1,785.31.13, to be precise. Tapé Associates at $84,690.44. And this is various vendors. This is through our FF&E, our furnishings, fixtures, and equipment, which have all been delivered, and is completely in the building at this point. And that is for $527,879.31. I just want to note to the committee that the FF&E come on in. Came in under the budgeted amount. There's another one for various vendors for FF&E for $34,606.52.
They 340.
I'm sorry. I'm corrected. $344,606.52. Dyno Relocation, which handled our moving, moving everything that was moving from the existing high school, the old high school into the new high school, in the amount of $11,097.50. Then this was for the 3rd grade moving expense, since we're moving, the moves occurred at all the buildings, not just the high school. This was for the relocating 3rd grade moving furniture and equipment, and that was for $2,402.50.
Mr. Mack,
Yes, ma'am.
that should be corrected because that's actually a school committee expenditure, so that total should be reduced. That was purchased out of school district funds, that particular move.
Okay, and so that this doesn't belong in the package at all?
That's correct.
Okay, so we'll take that out of the package. Testing services, UTS of Massachusetts. This again is for various testing services, including testing of the loam for the new fields, for the correct balance of particles in in the loan, and that's for $1,630. Are there any questions about those invoices? Because I'm sure I could find someone that could answer.
So the TAPE invoice is showing 100% complete on the construction phase. And I know we have a punch list. How does that work?
I believe the way our office structure is, it might have been construction administration and then maybe a closeout phase after that.
Oh, there's completion.
There's another $459,500 for what they call completion phase.
Great.
Yeah, so since we've hit substantial completion, that's sort of the construction phase, but, obviously we still have work to do, and that's what we'll be covering the rest of that completion phase there.
Great, thank you.
Any others? I'll take a motion to approve those invoices.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Get those going around. Let me start down here. Monthly approvals and commitments. Phil, this is your spot. I want to tell you that there are a couple of things that we're going to...
Mr. Mackett, just a quick question.
Yes, sir.
So what we just approved, does that include the third grade relocation, which wasn't supposed to be?
We pulled it out of the packet, so it's not. It's
Okay.
not in the packet.
Not in the packet, so it's not in the offer.
Right.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
Now, there'll be a couple of items that we'll be discussing tonight that we did not have information to provide at the last meeting, so we're going to be addressing some tonight that we're looking for approval, that this might be the first time you've seen them. If you haven't seen, you've been watching the log. So I just wanted to open up the discussion with that, so that there's an understanding that if I had to do over again, I would have pointed that out in the memo before we got to the meeting. So it was my miss.
Before we get into those, just run through owner change order 15. So owner change order 15, these are all items that have been seen before, discussed before with the committee. CR82 is the rework of the wood wall cap, the alternative wing walls for the added railing. For the construction process, it was recognized that we needed to add a railing to the wing walls on the other side of the auditorium for safety reasons. So we added that railing. Unfortunately, in adding that railing, there was a piece of flat stock wood cap that ran over top of it that now needed to be made in two pieces and notched around the railing that had to be installed. So we incurred additional costs with the mill worker to go from basically just a piece of wood on top of the wall to joining two pieces of finished millwork together in the field. And you can see out there, it was quite the process. Just a little quirk in the middle there that they used to join it. And in addition to that, through the whole process of having to add this railing, we had to hold off the tile installation while we fabricated the railing. Unfortunately, we couldn't push out the seating delivery in order to maintain the schedule. We had to get the seats in, so that caused production loss to the tile contractor. Who it was tracked. Both of these were tracked on T&M and verified by MD5 and shown as accurate costs for the work. There were costs included in the contract that was deducted from the total hours that were spent in the field. That was the only way we could really do it and know that we were not paying a premium beyond what it actually took. So this is for the added labor at the wood cap and making it into pieces, and then the production loss with the tile installer. The alternate thin tube radiator covers. When you walk down this hallway here, if you look up the high window on the back side facing the track, You'll see there's a convector below those two windows, one on this side and one on the mirror image on the other. Once we got the convectors in place, we realized that the convector cover that was specified had an unfinished cover on the underside. So when you look up, you can see the fin tube and all the wiring going to it. So this change order is to purchase and install fin tube covers that are finished on both sides, so you get a nice finished look on either side. The elevator operator, everybody I'm sure recalls the Resizing strike and the need to get the operator here to run the cab for the owner firm to move in while we work through issues with them to get them here to get their phone lines installed. So this is the cost associated with that runtime. This was a T&M verified by MV5 and installment. And then the last one is over excavation and crushed stone import and added foundation drainage. The maintenance garage that we installed for the facilities department, while we were excavating for it, we encountered a high water table, actual flowing groundwater, and out of abundance of caution, we over excavated, imported some crushed stone to ensure that we had a stable base, and then added perimeter drainage to minimize the potential for water flow into the foundation on the other side of the wall and coming into the building. Fortunate enough, there was an existing yard drain that we were able to tie this system into. So it was a pretty minimal cost to address that unforeseen condition. So those 4 items totaled $27,000.
$24,732.
$24,732. And that is owner change order 15.
Questions?
So, on this schedule, owner change request log,
Yep.
we have several other pending items. When will we know more about those?
That was what we were going to discuss after the owner change order 15. So they're not part of owner change order 15.
Right.
We're going to discuss them after we approve this change order. We'll go into what we'll look for next meeting.
Right. So I move we approve change order 15 in the amount of $24,732.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye?
Aye.
All righty. Act 2.
So I'm going to go through the first one, and then Jen's going to go through kind of explain the history behind the other ones here. So if you recall the athletic field resizing, we discussed it at the June meeting. We discussed that we would need approval at this meeting in order to execute the work with the current schedule. So that amount has been vetted by TAPE as a reasonable cost. There is no breakout in this packet here, but that total cost is $25,619, and that is, to refresh your memory, we're making the one field that was designated as a practice field and was shorter in width. We're widening that to be a full-blown practice field and adding field goal posts on the other end so that you wind up with 2 regulation football fields.
Where is that located? I don't even remember. Is that on the side? Or?
It's in the front where the existing school is. There's one field there, and then directly adjacent to it is the second field. So you have the soccer field at the front, and then the 2 football fields will be, I guess it's not necessarily football.
No, it's not. They're both football, soccer, athletic fields. Same size athletic fields, all appropriate for regulation size play for the sports that would be on there.
So as we're moving into the demolition phase, as I drive by, I'm having a hard time visualizing the grade of the fields. Could you comment on that?
So it's kind of we're balancing, if you will. So we're coming up, I believe, and I'm not as well versed as my superintendent would be, but I believe we're coming up 6 feet on the school side, and we're coming down roughly 3 feet on the existing side. So that's how, I believe those two fields are higher than the front field.
Higher than the soccer field.
Yeah. Not a huge, not 10 feet, but
Right.
there is a grade.
There's a grade between them.
And then what happens in that, I'll call it the southwest corner of the front field, where there's that concrete retaining wall?
There's so we bring that grade down slightly, and then we have a decorative segment retaining wall that you would see at like a Walmart. The Target actually has it down Orchard Hill. So that grade differential stays pretty significant, and the blocks are actually 4 foot. They're 4 foot by 2 foot. So they're pretty substantial blocks, but they're architectural.
What we see right now is 10.
No, not that, when you go further up the drive, when you get to the nice ones, the tan ones. It's funny you should say that, because I noticed those the other day. I was like, oh, those, not the best choice.
No.
Any other questions on this one?
Will the committee didn't get the invoices to sign?
Thank you.
And just what's in the 25, I know you don't have a full breakout, but...
The two logo post,
Yeah.
a slight modification to infiltration, to one of the infiltration systems.
Phil, as I recall, the goalposts were like 15,000.
Yeah.
Goalpost was the majority of the
That was the big ad.
Yep, with concrete bases. Yeah, it was there. The fill goal post is the majority of the cost there.
So the go forward on this, Phil, is
We would need authorization today to proceed with it.
for that amount,
For
and
that
then we're
amount.
going to do the change order at the next meeting.
Correct.
And the need for action today is,
Yes.
no, I'm trying to... I'm eliciting
Yes, that wasn't my cue.
The reason that we must, we ought to act on it today, why it would be wise for us to act on it today is,
We need to incorporate this change in scope with the current work that we're doing as far as tearing down the building. We need to order the pipe and also make sure that the Velcro posts are ordered. So it's really it's a timing. The August meeting is going to be probably a few weeks too late, so that's where we are. Schedule.
Mr. Mackin, if I may.
Yes.
I just wanted to remind everyone that one of the reasons this came around is through our discussion as we were looking at artificial curves and looking at the size, how everything had been sized to maximize the utilization, to try to provide options so we can rest fields. All of those were the reasons why this came back to the committee as a possible change now that we had a detailed plan of what that was going to look like and the fields that we were going to move going into the future.
so what we're voting on is an authorization to proceed. We will see the change order at August meeting. Are there any further discussion or questions before I ask for a motion?
Should we do it individually, or should we go through all of them and kind of revisit them? It's just a question, I don't have an opinion. But we have a few other line items, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, whatever the committee feels, that's fine with me.
I'd like to get like a sum total.
Sure.
What we'll authorize.
Okay, that's a good approach.
Okay.
So the remaining ones on this list, with the exception of CR 91, came up between the last meeting and this meeting. So unfortunately, you have not seen them. A large portion of these involve long lead, not a large portion, half involve long lead items that need to be procured now so that we can better ensure the ability to get them in prior to the start of the school year. There are two that we are not 100% confident we'll be able to get the material in time to do that. So we've included in the number, and you'll see it denoted over on the right, the cost for an off-hours installation. So that if if you were to approve that cost at this meeting, the next meeting, I'm not coming in and saying, you approved this cost, but now we need to install it off hours because the material didn't come in as we expected in time, so we need to install it off hours. So you'll see on the right-hand side, the ones that are to notify that. And if, for your information, CR 91, the premium cost, so the off-hours cost is $1,687. And that's included in that total number shown. For CR 97, it's $1,077, and it's included in that number shown. So if the materials were to arrive in a timely fashion, and we did not need to install them post-occupancy with the school year, we would be in a position to write a change order back for that amount of money. So that way we're not spending it if we can get the material in time.
So when you're saying off hours, you're saying that you've already demobilized and are off the site, basically?
The school will be occupied, so I can't bring in a crew. Now, Mr. Spadafino had mentioned the potential to shift classes around to try to get us the ability to work during regular hours, in which case, again, we would be able to write a change order credit back in the amount of the premium time.
So that's for nights and weekend time?
For nights and Saturday.
Yeah.
Sunday would be double time, which I did not include. So I'll let Jen kind of explain what each one is and how they evolve. She probably has a better picture of it.
So if we look at CR 091, the order requested board and TAC board changes. So this was basically as the staff started to get into the building and see their rooms and how they're going to use them. There was a number of requests to either add or change some of the marker and TAC board, what had been provided in the rooms versus what they really felt they needed to make their room work for them. So,
We talked about that one a little bit.
I think
We did,
I think we
That was the
mentioned,
one
yeah,
that
I think
we had spoken previously on.
This now is sort of the final list that we've worked out with the school as far as what we need for its various classrooms, few of the offices, there's two in the media center, so just sort of various places throughout the building that they wanted to supplement with additional marker and tack boards. We're doing them all. Should I just keep going?
Keep going.
92 is in change order, 93, 94 we're not ready to really talk about at this point. So the next one would be...
Before you go, just because I'm interested, what does order of magnitude mean in the right-hand column of 93 and 4?
Ballpark figure.
Okay.
So you might want to comment on 94. That's some patching, you don't have the final numbers.
We don't, so this is a few of the larger trucks that came in to deliver some of the FF&E products, I think hit some of the curbs and did a little bit of damage to some of the asphalt curbs. I believe we're trying to work that out.
That will not be a cost that we will
Not
see.
be a cost.
Maybe soon that would be a back charge.
I was going to say.
To the FF&E.
That is not a cost that we will see.
So we will pay, the assumption is we will pay here, take a credit somewhere else.
I'm sorry, did you move over the repeater?
We did. I know we had mentioned it.
Yeah, we talked about it.
We did. So the update would be that we did receive some information from our consultant who was working with people that installed the original one, and we put together a request for proposal to get a cost from Shawnee to install the new system basically for the police department.
So we're waiting on
So we're waiting on the final cost.
the final cost. The open question that was answered was, can we do something with the existing system that will allow a less expensive alternative than putting in a parallel system? The answer is no. We're putting in a parallel system. I will have, at the next meeting, I will request that the chief come to talk about it with the group so that we understand better his needs.
When we do it, is the old system charged back in this? Is this estimated in the cost? Or we just now own?
No, the one system that's in currently is a repeater system specifically for the fire department and not for the police department.
All right, so this is not a replacement, it's just
It's an addition. They don't operate in the same bandwidth.
I apologize, I can't really speak to how they
And,
work, but from what I'm told from our consultants and working with them, that they don't interact.
I believe the only thing they did determine, and it has not been verified by our electrical contractor, is that the existing coax cable run throughout the building can be used. So we're only adding additional parts and smarts, not additional wiring throughout the whole building. So we're not looking at, popping 90% of the ceiling tile in here.
Right.
And we were going to ask if there were alternative funding sources for that repeater system. Was that question forwarded somewhere?
I talked to the chief, I haven't heard back, he was going to check into it.
Whoops.
Whoa. So, Phil, you know those questions that we had about the Questron?
Yeah. Let's see if I move, if it'll... There we go. Oh, John hit the switch.
It worked, the test.
It worked. Right, that's fabulous.
Do not adjust for
It doesn't show a chink in the armor of automated system. We didn't know we were here.
Phil just wanted to show you that the system is working.
It was all fun, so they maintained that.
Even the first off.
Okay, we're all set with the, are there any further questions?
I was just saying that before, but maybe not. I just have to raise the question, did the police not review this building requirements? I mean, it would have been added anyway, so it's not a matter of this, but it's like, how do you get surprised that your equipment won't work and you need a repeater when the building is,
I just asked the same question,
What?
like why, I just asked the same question, how this had not come up in one of those numerous safety meetings prior to...
I can only say that their system works at the existing school. There was no thought that it wouldn't work in the new school, and it wasn't until they got into it and started going around the building and testing it did they discover it.
I can't comment on this specifically, but I know in other, it's almost like using your cell phone. You think it'll work, and then you find you go into the locker room and it doesn't work, kind of thing. It's sometimes hard to tell from a set of plans what connections get made in that sense, and we've seen that in other instances.
Yeah, no, I understand that, and I appreciate the explanation. I mean, the only thing I would say in terms of, this is something that you can't guess that it works. You have to know that it works from the beginning. Now, we're just lucky we don't have to lay the wires, but if we did, that would be people popping tiles and doing stuff, and it could have been a lot more when it was designed from the beginning. We're like, we don't know if it's going to work or not, but we know the repeaters are going to work. And that would be a critical thing for police radios to work in an emergency. Anyway, I don't want to believe it.
Okay. Jim?
So moving on to CR 095, stair number 2, open riser infill panel. So this is the stair that's down by the high school entrance, sort of right across from there. It goes up to the bridge that goes to the auditorium. And the way that it's configured around the column and the elevator, there's an extension piece of the stair that runs between where the railing is and where the elevator is. And it's the way it is right now, it's a little bit difficult to, I guess, maintain if kids were to throw trash and whatnot down onto those stairs, because it is basically the set of stairs continuing beyond the guardrail railing. So we looked at possibly adding on just a flat piece of steel on top of it, just to help with keeping it clean, easier maintenance, less of an attraction for stuff
Yeah, on the way
left
up.
in there.
Yeah, on the way up, we can take a look at it.
Look at that. So that is number 95. 96 was a request from the athletic department, the athletic director. His office has a window that goes from his office to the gymnasium itself. And currently, as installed, it just has one pane of glass on it, and he's requested to add a second pane on the gym side of it to help reduce some of the noise from the gym traveling into his office. And that's 97 casework fine cleaner additions. Again, this is one of those things where people are getting into their spaces and realize, maybe there's something else that they can use to help make their rooms a little more functional. And a lot of this one is adding some adjustable shelving on standards on the walls. So that was science prep rooms, sped storage rooms, PE offices. We've also added a built-in storage cabinet in the health room and 2 of the art classrooms to increase their storage capacities. It includes swapping the locks on the teacher wardrobe units in the workrooms so that each one's keyed individually. As currently installed, one key would work for everything in that single room. This would allow them to be individually keyed. The flag holder part, there's some conditions where, due to the projectors being on the boards, we weren't able to put the clip on the board that holds the flag that we had purchased for the roof. This is just, I think there's 11 of them included.
You mean like this one?
This one should have a clip on the top of the board. We'll do it, but
That's punch list.
but that's on the punch list. But the conditions where we have a projector, we don't have the clips in the holders on the board. So that was for adding that there. So that was what was entailed in number 97. And again, that was just as people get into their space, we're making requests to make their rooms more useful. Number 98, added wall clocks. This is for 6 rooms where we hadn't originally scheduled to have a clock in the room, but again, once you get into the space and realize, the way it's going to be used, it would be beneficial to have that in those spaces.
For example?
Fabrication.
I'm sorry?
Fabrication lab. I think there was one office that was missing one. I think there was the OT room maybe was another one. So it's sort of miscellaneous, unique kind of.
There were classroom spaces, so they weren't thought to have a need for a clock.
Yeah, so we, it was not included in the original drawing.
Got it.
That was for 6 rooms, and again, they're tied into the building's overall system, so it's not just a battery operated clock stuck on the wall. It's connected to the system, so they would change times as needed and be part of the real system. CR 100 for added signage. Again, just being in the building, there are a few locations where we wanted to add a few additional signage items. This included some aluminum letters and some vinyl signage at the main entrance, basically saying, welcome to the Lunenburg Middle School, with the thin metal letters above the door. There was some lettering in the gym to add the word Lunenburg on both ends of the gym, just to add a little more school function to it. There's also a bronze plaque for the gym dedication to denote how you dedicated the gym. There's one exterior sign noting that premises is under video surveillance. There's a few fire department connection signs that were requested as part of the walkthroughs and inspections. And then there's also a small vinyl signage on the doors for security, basically alerting people not to open the door for strangers to go to the main office to check in. So that was what was included with the signage. I think those are the ones that we're asking you to consider today.
And just to give you some background information on the other 2 items, 101 and 102, the abutter to the northeast south is not good.
Northwest.
The northwest corner of Oak Avenue wrote to us noting that the other neighbor got a fence, and we don't want to do another fence. It's, the cost is one thing, and then the maintenance becomes an issue for the school. We're looking at whether there's a planting solution that might be viable, that isn't too expensive. We haven't gotten there yet. We'd like to accommodate the neighbor, but it would be easier. I'm not being critical of the neighbor, just noting that they bought the house while the construction was going on, and we're well aware of what the property was when they purchased it.
Well, the other abutter worked with us on the fencing, I remember that
Right.
very early on during the about
Correct.
meetings.
Correct. Correct. So,
To a certain extent, that ship kind of sailed.
as I said, we would like to be accommodating, but we're really taking a look at what can be done at a low-cost alternative, and if we can do it.
So this is not something that the original owner brought up
Nope.
during the abutters meetings?
Nope.
So this is because of a new occupant
Correct.
that entered the premises mid-construction?
Correct.
Okay.
So that's where we're at with that.
I think the important part that it's not a promise that we made at any time.
No, it is not.
Gotcha.
No, what we have communicated to the abutter is we will look at it.
Yeah.
And last is, in the auditorium, as the paths on both sides end at the handicapped spot in the front of the auditorium, you're left with a small raised element of the flooring that takes you down from the back of the auditorium to the front of the auditorium. And it's a trip hazard. In fact, when I gave a tour to a group this past Saturday, one of the women in the group, almost fell backwards off of it. This is to add railings at those areas, just to prevent that condition from being problematic. It's a detail that,
One of those things,
What-
when you see it, you realize,
Yeah.
a little bit of a lift there.
right.
Is it a code issue, or is it just?
It was a building inspector
It was a
request.
request from the building inspector. I don't know that it's necessarily a code issue, but, I think there's no request.
I think it's wise for us to incorporate that, but we'll debate that next time.
Yeah, I just wonder if that's something that the architect should know in their detailing. Because sometimes, it's interesting that these things crop up and they're not caught during the design phase, if it's a code issue. The code's pretty descriptive of what you're supposed to do. So, be good to know that for the next meeting. It's just something that we should do, or something that's kind of laid out and should have been caught earlier.
I think that the building inspector thinks there's got to better be done, so we need to do it. Again, I said, I don't think, it's not necessarily a code issue per se, it's just maybe more of a safety concern.
When I was there with him during his walkthrough, his concern was individuals coming down the aisle and using it, or not realizing that there's a drop-off there. At no point did he say, the code says that you have a railing.
The continuous railing all the way to the...
So I think it's, I'm not speaking on his behalf, but it sounds like it might be a matter of just general public safety that he was commenting. And him being the AHJ, they have, when they make requests, we typically...
No, and I don't have any problem with the request, it's just a matter of, why it wasn't caught in detailing phase, something like that. If it's truly something that the code says you have to do.
What's the AHJ?
Authority having jurisdiction. So it can be building inspector, fire marshal, just a general term. So the CR91 and CR97 both have material lead times that I think best case scenario we'd be here the last week before school opened, trying to get those installed. Worst case is we're into the school year. The reason we're asking for the vote today is if we don't vote today, you would most likely be looking at a September, October installation versus it going in, having any chance of being in before school starts.
Do you have a total on that in front of you?
The total for all the ones we're asking to be, so 91, 95.
I'm sorry, aren't you asking for 90?
Yeah. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Thank you, Stuart. $70,328. That's CR 90, 91, 95, 96, 97, 98, and 100.
And I'm sorry, give me the number again?
70,328.
Is there any further discussion?
That's not to exceed, and we heard, because you mentioned
Yeah.
some of the outside work to do that.
Yes, that would be not to exceed.
So again, we're voting on it not to exceed, we'll have to approve the change order at the next meeting.
I will make a motion that we approve change orders as described, 90, 91, 95, 96, 97, 88, and 100, in the amount of $70,328, not to exceed.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, we already did the PCI log, right?
Just to Alonzo's comment, the reason we put order of magnitude numbers in here is so that when we're, it is a best guess estimate, but it helps in the decision-making process. You can see the total cost exposure.
Oh, no, I'm fine with yesterday, it's the
Okay.
wording that just,
Oh.
what order of magnitude was.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
No, I can understand, and I appreciate the fact that you're putting estimates.
Is there anything else on the PCI log? That we need to make sure we point out? I think we covered everything, right? Okay, great. Construction progress update.
So I'll give you a summary of the construction progress. And then I know there's some areas we had just talked about, maybe the committee wants to go and look at some of these, involved in some of these changes. But in terms of the new building, the planting is essentially complete. It's being maintained, it's being watered and taken care of. The boulder wall over adjacent to the concession stand is basically done now. They just have to put in some mulch and do some seeding over there.
Is that getting planting or is that getting grass?
It should be getting junipers.
Okay, that's what I thought.
There's Charlotte is finishing what they call their back punch of the building, which involves a lot of painting, touch-up painting, and then Tepe will be going through and verifying that work is complete. Next week, some exterior signage will be going in. In terms of Phase 2, the demolition, the gym has been abated. They're working at going through the rest of the building, doing further abatement. And as you can, if you've walked by or seen it, a lot of the general demolition has started. Crushing of the building, or as we like to say, the recycling of the building. And they'll be moving on to what they call the facade removal of the existing exterior walls, and then doing some site work too. They're working on developing the roadway at Passios, as you can see too. And we talked today about trying to control people driving in over at that side of the building. Probably Shelving will put up a few more signs to keep there's been a few curious people that have come in and driven around.
Despite the, this is a work zone, do not enter signs.
Stay out, do not enter. Danger, hazardous. It's a dirt road, don't drive on it. The John London Memorial Maintenance Garage. This week they're going to be pouring the floor slab on the inside, and then they'll be doing some final grading and roaming around the outside, and it'll be John's baby. And then really last thing with the new building is the air conditioning work is still kind of an ongoing process, the duct work, and they got a septic condensers up on the roof and stuff, so
But the expectation is it will be complete before school.
it'll be completed in August before school starts.
The condensing units are scheduled to arrive on Monday, so they'll be set, and then there's a significant amount of piping that needs to get run over to them that they're currently working on pre-piping. So we hope to beat our schedule, which was already finishing before the start of school, so it's going to be fine.
And in terms of the demolition, by the first week of August, you can drive down Massachusetts Avenue, and all you'll see is the new school.
When is that?
By the first week of August. And in the month of August, the digital sign will be installed out front.
Sorry, the light just turned on the hall.
Yeah, it is.
This is an ongoing discussion. Is there any other comments? Yeah, I've had the pleasure of, just a final comment, of being able to give a tour last Saturday, and really interesting because there's a lot of folks that were either way beyond school age or parents of, primary and, elementary school students. So it was a very interesting crowd, and, the general reaction, of course, is everybody's thrilled. So I look forward to continuing those because they're always fun to do. And if you want to jump in, you can quit.
Tomorrow morning?
There's one tomorrow morning at 8:30.
My dad wants to come, and he keeps needing to go to your office and sign up. Can I just send him? What time?
No,
8:30.
8:30.
You can add him on. And
Yeah, but he can go in your group.
The times are on the school committee site.
They're on the high school site.
High school and...
They're on the main page of the school website, the
School
district
website.
website.
Okay.
They're all listed
And they're also on the high school site. Well, middle high school site. I think it still says high school, but I Okay, any other comments? I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.